Good morning and welcome. One talking point would be that creating jobs helps the economy by gross domestic product GDP. When an individual is employed, they are paid by their employer. This results in a macroeconomy. We'll begin this segment with tech layoffs. LinkedIn cuts 700 jobs and closes China's app. Let's begin from there. LinkedIn has become the latest tech firm to axe jobs, closing 716 roles in China. In a letter by the company's chief executive Ryan Roslansky, he said the move was aimed at streamlining the firm's operation. In the last 6 months, firms including Amazon in Africa, Kenya and Germany are negotiating an agreement that would allow Kenyans to fill around 250,000 unfilled positions in Germany. The agreement aims to facilitate the migration of professionals, skilled workers, and semi-skilled Kenyans to Germany. In addition to market and labor migration, the two nations discussed. Nigeria suffers first oil production fall in 7 months. Nigeria's crude oil output dropped by 38,102 barrels per day in March, translating to a cumulative loss of about 1,100,000. According to industry data obtained in Abuja on Monday, Nigeria's oil production had been on the rise since September 2022, following concerted efforts by the federal government. Years from the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission indicated that while the country pumps 1,306,304, this indicated a decrease of 38,102 barrels daily, which implies that Nigeria lost a total of about $1,181,085. That's such a huge loss in crude exports and crude outlook. Vehicle imports into Nigeria and customs service in the first quarter of 2023, a total of 51,782 review in 2021. However, in the first quarter of 2022, a total of 97,132 vehicles were imported, indicating there was a drop of about 40% in the number of imported vehicles that came into the country between January and October this year through the ports, reduced the negative impact of Ghana's debt crisis, among others, on their risk assets. 8 banks recorded 500 compared with 249.75 billion naira recorded in 2021. An impairment charge usually reflects a fall in value or deposit ratio LDR, which is put at 65%. Ghana's sovereign debt crisis and slowdown in the global economy that disrupted economic activities affected most risk assets. FCMB Group PLC, Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC, Stanbic IBTC Holding PLC, United Bank indices, according to data releases all around the world, from Asia to the US as well as Africa. Let's begin with economic calendar. According to economic calendar, as at early morning, 2:30 a.m. in the morning, retail sales month-on-month final for March in Australia came out. Also, as highlighted with red, a key index level this morning was the balance of trade for April in China. It came out and the focus was $76 billion. The standing came out at $90.21 billion, indicating improvement in exports in the country. And we'll get to look at that. $21 billion in April 2023 from $49.47 billion in the same period a year earlier, topping market focus of a gain of $71.6 billion. Exports rose more successive period due to weak demand at home. Let's look at the charts indicating China's balance of trade. Well, according to the charts, as of July 2022, the balance of trade in China stood at $102.65 billion. It further went down as at October 2022 to 84 2023, then dropped to 16.76 in February, but went higher again and at 90.21 in April 2023. annual inflation rate in Mauritius softened for the fourth straight month to 8.3% in April 2023 from 9.1% in the previous month. Inflation is typically a measure of the overall increases in prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages at 6% against 7.3% in March. Transportation stood at 11% against 10.1%. On a monthly basis, consumer prices were down by 0.1% in April, after increasing by 0.5% in the prior month. Let's look at the charts. Prices of commodities and a weakness in the currency of that country stood at 11% in July 2022 in Mauritius. It went higher to 11.9%, as at October 2022 it was at 11.9%, but tipped up to 12.2% in December 2022. As of January 2023, it stood at 11.8%, and the slowdown continues. Let's look at annual inflation rate in Tunisia. The annual inflation rate in Tunisia eased slightly for the second month to 10.1% in April 2023 from 10.3% for some consumer price index items such as food and non-alcoholic beverages in March, furnishing and household equipment, transportation, education, alcoholic beverages, and tobacco. Meanwhile, prices are by 1.2% in April, the most in a year, after rising by 0.7% in the previous month. Let's look at a chart indicating Tunisia's inflation. Its rises is still struggling to ease the peak. As at July 2022, it stood at 8.2%, went higher to 9.2% in October, and further higher to 10.2% in January 2023, and peaked at 10.4% in February, but began to slow down a bit, as at April 2023, dropping to 10.1%. Though the peak of inflation is still high in the country Tunisia, and there are hopes it could slow down even further. Still in Africa. Let's look at the top 10 African countries with the best environment, policies, and infrastructure supporting the establishment, growth, and sustainability of businesses. The presence of a favorable. This list is courtesy of the Africa Trade Barometer, ATB, and its report by Standard Bank, which provides valuable insights according to the ranks and the ATB, the Barometer of Trade. At number 1 is South Africa, with a barometer score of 100 as the best environment for trade in Africa. Ghana is number 2 with a score of 74.28 level. Namibia number 3 with 60.2 with a score level of 48 below 50 mark point, 48.41 points. And Zambia at number 9 with 43. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the commodities, looking at the price of gold and the metal market, what gold is doing in the market. And afterwards, we'll also x-ray. Well, welcome back. It's Business 360, and my name is Black Market, and Thought Colvin will be standing by to give us highlights on gold market. Gold rallies above.
Gold prices open up the week moving higher today, seeing a range of about 2022 up to 2037 in the June bucket, ending the session at about 2033. So back above that 2030 level, ending the day about $8 higher. Likewise, adding what we saw last week from the Fed and their recent rate hike and the talk of possible more rate hikes, or at least keeping rates elevated for longer.
Perspective from Todd. Let's move to the market, the metal market first, and see what the details are this morning. The price of gold and other metals, copper, steel, and the rest this morning. The metal market. 3 points this morning. Current price slightly dropping from that $2,080 mark. Gold price now is $2,025 per ounce. Market is moving quite fast. A 0.18% improvement this morning. Copper also slightly downward, negative 1.21 percentage points. For steel, it's gained 30 points this morning, 3,650. Current price for lithium is 192,500 Chinese yuan per ton, 5.48% appreciation. Morning, $72 per barrel, dropping by 0.634 points and negative 0.88 percentage points. For Nigeria, percentage point decline. Natural gas downward slightly, gasoline and the price of other commodities such as energy, gasoline price of fuel affects the market too. Beginning with soybeans, current price $133 per bushel, downward by 7.86 points, a negative 1.23 percentage decline. Lumber, little here, little there. Palm oil, 10 Malaysian ringgit per ton is the price of palm oil, 1.3 percentage appreciation, and that's the outlook from the commodity market. From Bob Isino, as the euro falls to sustain its slight rally. Let's look at the foreign exchange market and the details in the
euro currency futures, which had an intraday pullback today. On a quiet day, a small euro rally just didn't hold up. Not a lot of volume in it today. We were up almost, so between 1/10 and 0.2% lower, but that rally up 0.25% just didn't hold up, and we ended up finishing the day near unchanged. Now the euro is up, but it's only up 0.4%. So the rally that started in September of last year, that big move higher, has
move to the market and see confirmations of his sayings. The confirmation in the market, what the price of the euro against other majors are, as well as the performances. The euro against the US dollar has dropped away from the 1.10 mark. It's now $1.09 equaling 1 euro. A downward performance of a negative 0.24 percentage. The Aussie also dropping against the US dollar. The perspective of the Naira in the market against the majors, Naira against the US dollar and the euro and the pound. 460 dropping away from the 460 exchange window. For the euro against the Naira is 507, a Naira equaling 1 euro. And for the pound against the Naira, 581 naked. Dollar to Naira, 740 Naira equaling $1, the buying rate, and selling rate 736 Naira equaling $1. Pounds to Naira, it's 921 euro and 797 Naira to 1 euro at the average selling rate. Well, we've talked about the fiat. Let's get to the digital currency. This morning it's been 73 points gain for Bitcoin, a 0.27 percentage appreciation, and Ether 4 points gain. Binance, a little here, a little there. Cardano gaining slightly. Solana gaining slightly, and Ripple gaining just. Multivase International Breweries, and other companies' shares lifted the Nigerian capital market by 0. Naira from 28.56 trillion Naira to 28.62 trillion Naira after 5 hours of trading. The all-share index rose by 114.38 million shares, worth 7.13 billion Naira in 5,883 deals. Let's look at the top gainers. Multivase led the gainers list with a 31 kobo rise in share price, moving from 3 Naira 10 kobo to 3 Naira 41 kobo to 3 Naira 59 kobo per share, the top volume. Access Corporation led the day's trading with 167.61 million shares. Valid would be in the morning market in the Nigerian stock market this morning, the Nigerian stock market. Well, some of the markets today would be Dangote Cement at a price level of 270 Naira per share. Well, no significant difference in the market this morning. Zenith Bank has shown price level of 24 Naira 40 kobo, gaining just 35 kobo this morning, a 1.29 percentage increase. This is where we draw the curtain in today's edition of